We never know why some people live and some people don't. That is God's decision. And I want to live, you guys. Some people say, I'm not scared to die. Even though I believe in God, I know God is real, I'm still afraid. Hey guys, I hope all is well. So, Wednesday was my birthday. I turned 52 years old, and I am so thankful to God because every year I think about when I was 11 years old and the doctors told us that I would not live past 17. Most of you guys know that I was diagnosed with lupus when I was 11 years old, but I had been sick for like 5 years before that. Um, Going into renal failure, complete renal failure at 18 years old, starting dialysis in 1992, um, and just having a whole bunch of near-death experiences, over 60 procedures, and at 52, I'm still here. I'm working. I went to college, you guys, while I was on dialysis. I'm still working as a registered nurse. It's hard. Life is hard. I am not going to say it isn't. I am in so much pain every single day, and it is the worst pain that I have felt in my life over the last, I would say, 5 years. And it just increases and increases and increases. And we didn't know what was going on. I spoke about this in a past video, but I'm going to update you guys what's going on with me. So, a lot of this is so personal that I would never have spoken about how much I suffer before because I feel like some people enjoy knowing that other people suffer, but I'm not ashamed of it. And my story can help someone else to know never, please don't give up on yourselves. Keep putting one foot in front of the other and keep going. So, I have been trying to get on the transplant list for since 2018, and it just hasn't happened yet. Um, I'm currently at Houston Methodist. Um, I was at the end of all of my testing, and my coordinator decided he wanted some more tests to be done. It took me forever to be able to get my colonoscopy. I was drinking this stuff, to get the test done, this disgusting stuff that we have to drink, and get to the hospital, and they couldn't start an IV. I'm going to insert pictures and let you guys see how many. I had 7 sticks in one day, and I was getting dressed to go home, and the anesthesiologist came in and said, let us try to put it in your external jugular. And that's how I was able to get my test done after going to the hospital, bigger hospitals in bigger cities. I think it was my fourth try to get this test done. So got that done. I had some polyps, but no cancer, nothing like that. So after that was done, my coordinator found something else that he wanted done. Retests of things that it's not even time to do. So now I'm thinking about going to a different hospital in Houston because I'm just tired of this man jerking my chain. So enough about that. Let me move on to what's causing all this pain in my body. Like I said, I spoke about that on another video for about, well, since about 2021, something like that. I started just having so much pain that sometimes I can't move. It is so hard to get out of bed. I have to get up an hour earlier than usual so that I can give my body time to adjust, like roll out of bed slowly and move slowly, try to warm my body up. That's the only way that I can describe it, to like get some of this pain under control and to begin my day. So I started complaining that when I got this IV iron, I think it's called Venifer, my blood pressure was dropping, Thank God I can feel when my blood pressure is dropping. A lot of people just go out, they bottom out, and some people die right there on the dialysis machine, because they don't feel when their blood pressure is dropping. And sometimes it's just too late by the time, every 30 minutes they're checking our blood pressure, and it takes the person a good little bit to come around to everybody. So, well, each of their patients. But I kept telling them my blood pressure's dropping, and literally I was told that's in your mind. Until one nurse a few years back, she stood right in front of me after she gave it to me, and I said my blood pressure's dropping. She checked it, and sure as shit, my blood pressure was dropping. She checked it again. I had to get saline to try to bring it back up. So they started giving it to me at the end of my treatment, and when I was getting off the machine, so that it could dilute a little bit with the saline. So I'm still telling them, when I get it, I get so nauseous. Like, it was horrible. Like, I felt like somebody was pushing down on my head, like smashing my body together. That is the literal feeling that I got. And I would have so much pain in my abdomen. Nobody was listening. I started refusing the medication, and they were putting that in my record and trying to label me as non-compliant. I was missing my treatments on Wednesday because after I get the medication, the iron, on Monday, I was in so much pain I couldn't move on Wednesday. Tuesday and Wednesday, I wouldn't feel better until Thursday. Then I would get it again on Friday and not feel better till Sunday. So it's been years and years of suffering. So I'm going to the doctors trying to find out why I'm having all of this pain. So we found that I have a lesion on my pancreas. It's small, it hasn't grown, it's stable because I've had it checked again. Then my new primary care sent me to get some tests done, an MRI and some scans on my abdomen. What they found was my liver is full of iron, and so is my pancreas. We did some blood work a week or 2 weeks ago, and I have so much iron just floating around in my blood. This is why I'm still in so much pain. What we're thinking now, it has not been confirmed, but we're thinking that the spot on my pancreas is also iron. I could have it on my brain. I do have 8 lesions on my brain, on the left side of my brain. We have to find out if I have iron on my brain. And it could be damaging my organs because there's so much in my body. And what I found out was the clinic that I go to, that company is a huge company. It's all over the world. I'm not going to name it. I will later, though. Their policy, they like to keep their patients higher than normal. So my iron, all of the iron levels, it's like a bunch of different T-sat and all kinds of things, is normal for a person who is not on dialysis, a person with normal renal function. And it has not been low, but they want to keep us higher than normal for some reason. And so I was getting all of this iron with a normal iron level, which is what caused me to become sick. Now I'm fighting all of this pain and fighting for my organs, fighting for my life because of this. Literally fighting for my life. And it's not fair. So, even though I'm a registered nurse, I don't know everything. I don't know I don't know if I'm saying this right, hemochromatosis is doing to my body, and I'm too afraid to read about it. I'm too afraid to go look at all of the studies because it's happening to me right now. I know what it is, but I don't know what is the prognosis of it. And I'm too afraid to go and look at it. I'm so afraid when my primary care calls me to say, can you come in? We're going to discuss your results. That is the scariest thing in my life these days. And literally, I had some tests done 2 weeks ago, and my mother had to call for my results and call me back to let me know what they were. And they came out fine. I thought I had rheumatoid arthritis because of all the changes, and they found arthritis in my hips and my back. But it turned out it's not rheumatoid. But my lupus is active. So I have so many things going on. And I just wanted to share with you guys about the struggle that I'm going through. I'm not pitying myself, but trying to help somebody else to know not to give up. Don't give up. What is the alternative if we give up? It doesn't matter what you're going through. I had breast cancer. That was one of the hardest things, to have a bilateral mastectomy and then go through the reconstruction. It was so hard. It was mentally and physically hard. I cried. Not when I had the cancer. I didn't cry about that diagnosis because something in me knew that I was going to survive. I just knew it from the time they told me. And they wanted me to go and speak to somebody because they said my reaction wasn't normal, that I was in denial. I wasn't in denial. I knew I had cancer. I wasn't saying, oh, it's not true. I knew that I was going to be all right because I said to myself, I'm not going to put my life in danger to try to keep breasts that I'm not using to feed a child. There's no other reason that I need these. If it comes to having to take both of my breasts, goodbye. I can live without them. I can't live with cancer growing in them. So that was why I knew I was going to be okay. And I knew it hadn't spread to the lymph nodes because they tested the lymph nodes. So bilateral mastectomy was my choice to save my life. A year later, after I'd, had the reconstruction, I was standing in front of the mirror, and it broke me down what I had been through. It really did. It hit me like a year later that I'd survived cancer and all of the other things that I'd survived. And that was like the hardest thing in my life. The thing that made me cry. I can't explain to you why it was harder surviving that than it has been since 1992, surviving being on dialysis, since 1985 with the lupus, and all of the things that have happened to me in between. That was the hardest thing. So, but I'm still here, y'all, with my little fake boobs and everything. I'm still working. I still walk my dog every day in pain. I push through it. All the grace from God, all the love from our Father in heaven, all of the courage that He gives me and you and everybody. The faith that I have in the Lord has kept me going. He gives me strength. And my purpose in life, I won't lie, I really don't know. Maybe it's to help other people. I notice when I share what I've been going through, it does give courage to others. They tell me it does. It helps them to keep pushing. So I'm thinking about you guys. I just zoned out a moment because I was telling this younger woman who was a patient of mine that she was going to be okay. And she literally died the next week. A young woman with little kids. She had lupus. So life isn't guaranteed. It broke me down, y'all. I cried so much when I heard about it because I wasn't at work when it happened. I was off. And she had a massive stroke. And it just broke me down. We never know why some people live and some people don't. That is God's decision. And I want to live, you guys. Some people say, I'm not scared to die. Even though I believe in God, I know God is real, I'm still afraid. I guess I'm afraid because I'm not a saint. I sin every day in my words and my thoughts. And sometimes in my deeds. Like, I get so upset about the things that people do that sometimes I'm a little mean. Like, I could be sitting next to somebody and they're talking to me, or they might say, good afternoon. And if they've pissed me off, I'm like, good afternoon. Literally. I'm already a serious person. And then when I get, a little upset with somebody, it's like on another level. Like, I'm not screaming, yelling, or being a witch with a B. I'm just like detached. And then the next day I feel bad and I'm like overly nice. I need to work on that. But yeah, it's kind of scary. I want to live. I want to live a long life. And God has already blessed me with all of these years. It's, oh my gosh. I feel so happy when I think about it. Anyway, my video, I don't want it to get boring. I just want it to be informative and let you guys know what's going on with me and how I'm making it through by the grace of God, by the love of our Father in heaven. That's it. It's not by my doing. He gives me the strength. He gives me the courage. He gives me the knowledge and the know-how to get out of this bed, put one foot in front of the other, and get going. If you want to live, you got to get up and live. Okay? I hope you guys have a great night. Bye.